Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Code for episode 104 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM, Jillian, and we have our players today, Kyle, Mac, Katie, Josh, and Greg. It's a new name alignment, and I always write them down anyways, and I'll get used to the rhythm. It's fine. Hey, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and give us a quick recap, and I think then we can just jump back into things. The party sort of getting their lives back together to the best as they can after a large battle took place in the town they were in, where they were able to vanquish multiple giant abominations interested in killing, dissolving, destroying anything in its path mindlessly, and taking time to also try and, I suppose, clean up the mess. Burning bodies, finding families. You also go and buy yourself some new armor, because a lot of you have your armor melted off of your bodies. There are some conversations had, some getting to know each other's. Nana being the only one left with the two new members of the party after everyone just sort of smoke bombs out of the room. Nana discusses the pit that they abandoned, not in too much detail, but looks inwards and decides that her description of the events is not up to her standards either. During this time, Fen gets shit-faced and shoots a tree a bunch of times. Roshan goes off to Hirum to do Roshan things. Gorbjorn goes off to wherever he goes to do Gorbjorn things. During this time, he is also informed Roshan, who told the rest of the party that he has an obligation to Ink and Tordrecht, and Tordrecht is now technically part of the museum because an object is stuck on his body that technically belongs to Ink. But it is mostly conversation having. There is an attempt to get gossip thrown around by Brilla, an info broker, who only seems interested in trading for information on one Egil, who Roshan won't even give literally a sliver of information on, nothing at all, won't even lie, and turns around and does nothing, allowing the gossip about the guard to go unspread. Two people in the party not knowing who Egil is, one of them decides to take a look. Nix scries on Egil and finds some vague information that he is in politics, that he's been in communication with a happy married couple, and also somebody whose sigil has some sort of bug in the center, who seems very intent on seeing them. And at the end of that, Egil seems to notice you and hopes you two can get to know each other before you are pushed away from the image. And then the next morning, you head downstairs and give every scrap of information you learned to Brilla to get this, like, the floodgates open of trying to besmirch the reputation of the guard. And Brilla's happy to oblige. She isn't able to answer another question that you pose to her, but she insists that all questions and all answers can be surmised at the Kivik Library. And before you go, she asks if you are interested in getting more information out, that each time you provide her with something, she will spread more about the guard and work harder for everyone's benefit, I suppose. And you agree to it, as any normal person might. It kind of just depends on your point of view of how dire a situation is and your morality. You just met these people. But you agree, and you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. And you all go about your business. You are currently traveling, all of you together, Gorbjorn and Ink, at the front on the double cart, the double wide. And as you all begin to crawl your way out of town, That is where we are going to start, is with the cart slowly maneuvering through the space. And I will say about 10 minutes into the ride, so you're still like in town, Roshan, you hear a sultry voice in your mind that you instantly recognize as Valrone. Hey, sugar. I'm checking on you for a paranoid mutual acquaintance. Could you ping him for my sake? I can relay a message for him.
I think he'll say, no, thanks. I will send him a message myself. Thank you for reaching out. I hope things are well in the West.
That was exactly 25. Astounding. Wow, beautiful.
How does he do it?
You do not receive a reply.
Okay. Then Roshan will ping with the rapier and then immediately cast sending himself and say, gosh, is there... I want to say a little lizard told me, but that sounds almost racist.
It's starting to sound a bit racist.
You think
she's
so?
not even lizard folk.
Oh, no.
Well, snake sounds even worse because there's negative connotations with snakes. So
It would technically be closer, but both maybe not the best. It depends.
Would a scaly friend be better?
Hey, all the descriptors sound bad.
Okay.
So it's up to you if you wish to attempt to use them. So whatever you're vibing.
Roshan then just says, I heard a little bird told me that there was somebody worried about me. Well, I can tell you things are going swimmingly. How are you?
Swimmingly. We were swimming 2 sessions ago.
Can't see the air quotes, but he just has to assume. That's interesting. Worried. I'm very cool, calm, and collected most of the time. I understand that you're busy. Really hope things are swimming, though. That's his reply to you.
So basically, he's just happy to hear from me, but also sounds nervous himself.
Happy. I will say you hear at the end kind of softly, shit, how many fucking words is it? And then it cuts off.
Shit, lost count.
Gotta keep it written down like on your palm or something.
Go ahead and roll insight, Roshan. You're just trying to pick up on the vibes of a disembodied voice.
16.
16. At the beginning, it sounded like he paused a bit, as if waiting to continue, and replied quickly. So there was a pause and a very quick reply. I would say the emotion was good, though. I think he was happy to hear from you, mostly seeing on the fact that he reached out to Valrone and was like, I haven't heard from the boy, but where's my boy? But or at least how Valrone says it was.
Yeah.
You're not, it doesn't worry you. What you heard isn't worrying in any way.
Not a, wow, I found somebody spying on my bedroom last night.
Nope. None of that.
Weird.
Yeah, that information not shared with you. A weird way to start it. By the way, he spied on Crazy.
By the way, were you looking in on me last night?
Hey, don't do that.
What, you weren't into it?
Hey, my guy, don't do that. So first off, everybody hears Roshan murmuring to himself for a span of under a minute. Easy enough for most of you to recognize a communication spell or a crazy person, really up to you. However, you're
I mean, it's
vibing.
just
We
the
don't
same as
know
modern
Sean
day.
well enough.
Yeah,
I
you're
was
just like
whispering,
either
is
toss it.
he okay?
Well,
Nana will kind of like wait
For a
until
minute.
Roshan seems to be done speaking and then kind of like glance over his way. Everything all right?
Seems to be. Egil just wanted to check in.
Oh, well, that was nice of him. Everything okay with him?
Sounded fine.
Okay, well, that's good. I hate to ask, how many times can you cast that sending spell in a day? We may need to check in on Dagwood at some point.
Only twice more.
Well, let's at least wait until later in the evening. Who knows if perhaps there may come some emergency before we have to camp down, but would you
Well-
mind if we could inquire with her later?
Sure, if we have the resources to do so.
Mhm.
Can the DM remind me where I thought she was going the last time we saw her or heard from her? She was heading east.
yep.
But I didn't get anything more than that. Okay.
I don't think so. I think you were able to get east out of that.
Damn.
When your friends are kidnapped, what do you do?
What do you do?
do?
Not message them on the regular to see how they're doing.
I
No.
suppose.
To be fair, she was pretty clear she didn't want to talk to us. We were fucking up her thing.
Yeah, she was definitely being inconvenienced by her handlers at that point.
Not that she doesn't want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, no, it's just
that
like
there's
she
somebody
keeps getting
very upset
punished.
every time that happens. You guys are swell.
Yeah. If it weren't for the people who were consistently hurting her for talking to us, she'd be fine with it.
That
She
makes
thinks you
sense.
guys are pretty cool. But the carts continue forward. Gorbjorn is on Ink's cart. So is Tordrick, because Tordrick can't leave the cart or two giant stone golems will just start throwing hands. So
I guess
you
that's
all-
the safest thing for him at this point in time.
he's probably the safest man in the world at this juncture. He cannot be stolen from that cart without at least 3 people getting very upset about it.
At least 3.
At least 3. But you all continue forward, slowly having to maneuver through this town. The roads incredibly strange and narrow in spots. But eventually you get to the edge of town and begin to like start to go up a hill a little bit to like flatten out. While I'm here, what are y'all's passive perceptions?
16.
Jesus. Mine is 16.
18.
Ooh.
Did you say yours
Greg,
was
I know yours
20,
is really
Fen?
low. It's fine.
Yes,
11.
my passive perception is 20.
That's what, hey, we're fine. We usually travel together.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
It's
That's
my
why we
job.
travel in a
Or we
group.
got 2
Yeah.
pairs of eyes.
Kel just goes instantly cross-eyed. Like anytime you're traveling, just like whoop.
It's all going too fast.
I get cart sick.
Oh no.
And
That's why we walked everywhere.
it looks like down at the ground. Like I can't.
That makes sense. That's understandable.
Everybody within yeah, sure. Everybody with an 18 passive perception or higher. There's a lot of people kind of moseying today. A lot of people seem to be leaving town. Maybe it's because they no longer have homes here. It's maybe they're just going on vacation. But there is a lot of traffic on the road. And you can see like on one of the branches, there's like little raven, just like little chonky raven hopping. And then like it does that thing where it like shakes its head and it like bows up a little and it sort of like pecks at the side. And it takes off into the air. And about a few yards ahead of the cart begins to like move downwards. And then at about 6 feet up, the body shifts and changes and lands casually. A woman wearing furs and leathers, black markings going up the sides of her faces and onto the sides of her scalp, braided black hair going back, and just a nasty looking glaive on her back. Danelle stands in front of you, holding a satchel over her shoulder.
I for a second thought this was who was that big lady who was the champion of
Gaza.
Yeah, Gaza was a druid the whole time, guys.
Oh my god! No.
If you couldn't pick up on it.
Polar Master Druid, not a bad build.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's fair. But so this is Danelle. Is she? Am I to assume she's on the back of Ink's cart facing us?
No, she is in front of Ink's cart. So you watch as Ink's cart begins to slow to a stop.
Okay. Oh, I see.
So she's fully stopped your forward momentum.
Okay. I'm guessing Nana is probably driving the cart and will stop Thick Biscuit in kind.
She sort of jostles this satchel and makes her way, starting to move past Ink, and like gives him a nod, and then stops about a few feet past them. So Ink is just slightly behind Danelle. Everybody else kind of in front of her. And she smiles. Olavi is hurt that you didn't stop by so he could send you off. Something about a stack of letters. I don't know. I wasn't listening. But anyways, even with the lack of decorum, he still wants to thank you for your service to the community. And she reaches into the satchel and she pulls out it's like the first one she pulls out slightly over like the palm of her hand, jostling of coin bags. And she like heaves one to Gorbjorn and starts to make her way forward. And she's like, heads up, and like tosses one over to Fen
Nice.
and Nana. And then she kind of like steps up on the cart wheel so that she can get to Roshan, Nyx, and Keld. It is the jostling of coin each, and these are a little hefty. They're not like huge bags, but like it's a solid little bag. And each of you is handed a bag. Nyx, you can tell instantly there is more than coin in your bag.
Ooh.
Danelle smiles. That's it. I really didn't have anything else. I was just sort of sent on a go pay the new guy's mission. Hazard pay was a term being thrown around.
Now, do you have a way to get a hold of us?
I'm sure we could figure something out if need be.
If you hear anything else about the god or any of his people's doings, please make sure we're the first to know. we made a mistake before not dealing with it immediately, and I don't think we'll be making that same mistake again. So if there's anything you can give us that would help us take care of it, it'd certainly be appreciated.
Huh. Fen, go ahead and roll me persuasion, and with your statement of admitting fault, with advantage.
Oh, cool. It's probably not going to help very much, but
But the spirit of it.
oh yeah. Say 15.
Okay.
I have a +0 to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one on the dice.
It was that or a 4, but
Mm.
thank goodness for advantage.
Uh-huh.
She looks at you. Sure. And she kind of like shrugs casually about it, but gives you an affirmative and then like hops off the wheel. Okay, don't camp too close to town. I would go as far as you can. Okay. And she just starts walking.
Well, thank you again for getting us also out from under the heel of the ambush that we fell into. We should make sure we thank you explicitly for that.
Very much appreciated, honestly. You put yourself at a good bit of risk. I understand you were also loyal to Alavi, but we benefited, and we appreciate your help.
Benefited. I did my job, which I benefit from. We're square.
Fair enough. Take care of yourself, please. Be safe.
Stay safe, Ink. I want to come find you again. And she sort of starts walking and then stops and then like kicks off, and another raven kind of forms from her visage and she just takes off.
Damn, that's cool.
I would love to learn how to do that.
You and me both, honestly. I feel like it's beyond me, though.
Yeah, probably.
I think either of you could learn that.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. What did it?
She's just muttering that she doesn't think either of you could learn that.
I mean, that's very probably true. I don't think that's on the ranger path at all.
Introduce you guys to some weird fucking spells, my God.
No, that's true.
Like, I could
there's some
turn
weird
you
stuff.
into one. If you
Yeah,
want.
hey, you got polymorph in that spell list of yours?
I do, actually.
Ooh.
I only use it for small birds. That's
Yeah.
it.
That makes sense.
I could turn you into one if that's what you really want, but
Oh. I don't know if Jenny would like that.
No, ravens generally, wrens probably would not like ravens, but
Oh well. She doesn't like me anyway, so more of the same.
not sure if she likes any of us, but she's still here, and I'll just feed her a cricket or something.
There is a stoic bird just chewing on a cricket who just, you can tell this bird has no love for anyone.
Not a damn person alive except her own self.
She's like, no, I'm great. And then there is the hand that feeds. So I understand that concept. So this hand, pretty sweet, top notch.
Good hand.
Jenny's here for it.
The love does not extend beyond the hand, though.
She keeps it deep inside. She can't tell nobody. But
I imagine she
carts-
also probably like in the manner of like an oxpecker. Like we've been out in the wilderness for some stretches. Like she probably keeps like, nits and like, ticks and stuff off of us. I mean, probably something she would do.
Saved you guys from disease.
I could see that. I would appreciate not dying of Lyme disease out in the wilderness.
She doesn't know she's helping you, but she's just like
Treating
she just
herself.
does it instinctually.
It's
there
not out
is
of
a
care.
moment-
It's just that she's hungry.
Yeah, there is a moment of pause before the carts start up again, and you kind of see Gorbjorn stash his coin and then kind of move forward and like moves into like ink space, and it looks like they kind of talk for a moment. And then the carts pick back up again. And you all continue forward.
Is there any indication, like, from their expressions, like, what kind of chat went down? Everything okay
People
up
can
there?
roll insight with disadvantage
Yeah,
from
that
their
makes sense. Distance.
bad point of view they have on
Yeah.
their talking.
I'll take my disadvantage and I'll see. Well, they're not too terrible. With disadvantage, my insight would be 16.
You are able to see that before the conversation started, ink did not seem like they were going to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then they talked, and then the cart started moving. Pushes forward.
Interesting. Okay. Well, onward.
Yeah, we are going to be traveling today, boys.
Oh boy.
And by today, I mean all the time. Also, people who I'm assuming, so at least one of you, will casually open your coin bag, to which you will see 200 gold pieces each.
Holy shit!
Nix, when you open yours, you tell me.
That will
You
be
tell
not
me when you
around,
feel comfortable opening yours.
not around other people. That's the answer.
Yeah, tell me when you're ready to do that, and I'll tell you what's in yours. But you guys are going to be on the road today. Is there anything in particular you wanted to do, and who is going to be on team perception? Either two people can roll or one person can roll with advantage.
I will be on team perception, but I might be a little distracted, so if somebody could help me. I'm gonna try to get Jenny to recognize our newest party members while we're
In that
traveling.
case, yeah, I'll be up there with you then. If that's your
Okay.
goal.
Then I would say,
Yeah.
because you're going to be doing something a little more focusing, I'm going to give it to Nix to roll with advantage. As you're like, listen, Jenny, we're losing him. We have to get a new one, Jenny.
Oh no.
It's
You have
Nix
to know at least
and
one.
Kel.
24.
Nice.
Good to know. Fen, how do you, what sort of training is on the menu today for Jenny?
Well, since Nix is going to be sitting here in the cart with me, I'll just kind of, and these are these little grubs here. These are her favorite. So if you feed them to her, she'll take them right out of your hand, and eventually I'll try to send her to you, and just try to get her to associate your name. Sometimes she seems to like people, other times she's indifferent, but as long as they have food, she seems to like them.
Right. You know for sure that's her favorite.
From my experience, yeah, we got crickets and flies, but the fattened little grubs here, those seem to be the ones she likes. She's eaten berries sometimes too, but she seems to like those far less than bugs.
Okay. She's just gonna ritual cast, speak with animals, be like, so which one is actually your favorite?
I can't wait for her to
First
meet
off,
Jenny.
Nix, can you roll animal handling for me?
I need this.
I'd be able to talk to Jenny whether Jenny likes her or not. It's a different story.
17.
Her head whips to you so fucking fast. Just, can I help you?
I'm just trying to see what food you actually like. He said a lot of different ones, and I want to make sure I'm not giving you one you don't.
Look up a food and I'll tell you if I like it.
I'll just take one of everything he's offered.
She like hops onto your hand and she looks like, yeah. She eats every single thing.
Of course she does. Uh-huh.
Just stares at you.
So one of each at a time. Understood.
And it's like there's, hey, at least you're not stupid. Begins hopping around, and based on your pretty high roll, Fen, I'm going to give you advantage on your animal handling to try and teach her to go to Nix.
I had to carry around a lot of food.
That is a 17 for me as well.
She goes for quantity very frequently, I've noticed. She likes quantity.
So as you're used to, there is that kind of block where it's like she goes for food. So she is adept at flying kind of far distances and will go like you'll like jog over a bit like and like behind a tree and be like, go Jenny, and like she'll circle and be like,
Nix!
there it is, and goes
That's the
immediately
food!
for food. Currently will not fly to Nyx without food. And there's an occasional like, fuck you, as like Nyx, she'll fly by when you don't have something in your palm. Like,
Mhm.
Oh
no,
my
I won't. And,
god!
so you've started her training, but she's still a little bitch, and we all love her for it.
We do.
Is there anything else anybody wanted to do while on the road? We're gonna do like, once you get to camp, you can do stuff if you like. But is there anything for the road for day one?
Small talk.
If there's not, that's fine.
I mean, small talk is always welcome.
Mm.
Sure. Or would you prefer to wait till camp? It's up to you.
Yeah, we can wait.
Oh, how far do we have before we think Gorbjorn's going to depart?
Well, you don't know when Gorbjorn's gonna depart.
I'm spending the day like getting to know Nyx, but like I definitely want to like hang out with Gorbjorn a bit before he leaves.
You don't know when Gorbjorn is leaving, but the next town is about 5 days away.
Okay, all right, so there's time.
Yeah. So day one, you're wanting to get to know Nyx?
Yeah, that's basically what we've been doing. We've been keeping watch together
Bird talk.
and feeding Jenny.
Yeah.
What'd you learn about Nyx? I don't know. She can hold a grub. Like she talks
She can
to
talk.
birds.
Yeah, she can talk to my bird. Oh.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure we
like
talked about
Nike.
other things as well.
I got her favorite color, her favorite season, the important stuff.
Mm.
But
Man.
I'll say with that, it's easy enough to find a spot to set up for camp, and begin doing what you would like to do there. Is there anything we're doing as the night she do approach?
Nyx killed. Check this out. Get a load of this. Watch what he does. I'm just gonna like have them watch while Roshan sets up the tiny hut. Like,
I'm assuming the tiny hut is coming into play if we're staying out in the wilderness.
Absolutely.
You guys don't want to sleep in the snow? What?
Not particularly.
you know what? We've slept in some pretty terrible snow before, and it didn't bother me until we started sleeping like this. And I've got to tell you, there's no comparison.
So what does it look like while he's setting it up?
So we're going to, I think, jump around time-wise a little bit because it only lasts 8 hours. So this would be like right as you're going to bed, but you still would see it when it happens. Roshan, could you tell everybody what it looks like when you cast Tiny Hut?
Yeah, so Roshan sits down on the ground and he starts humming an old booming tune, and it slowly, over the course of 10 minutes, builds a dome around him out of what looks like thin sheets of tissue paper that kind of harden in place. And then when he stops singing, there is a dome that matches the outside, matches the ground outside of it in color, and is nice and warm and amply lit on the inside.
All of you are summoned closer as the ritual is about to end, so you could be inside the dome when it takes place. And there's like the shimmer and then the hardening of this magic. And then when you casually step out of it, you can see the Everybody pretend that didn't happen. Anywho,
We've been here the whole time.
Mm.
we've all been here emotionally, physically,
Mhm.
virtually.
Mhm.
But as you all are currently.
Yes.
See what happens when you say everybody's here? They all just fucking.
No.
Damn it.
This is what you. Roshan rocks fall.
No!
Oh, no.
No!
Hey.
Oh, Lord.
Rip.
Fuck.
But all of you are currently at where you are going to be spending tonight.
Okay.
Is there anything anybody wanted to do while parked?
While we were parked, before we get to the end of the night, when we actually bed down, Nana wanted to spend some time with, like, some storytelling. Kind of, like, tell Keld and Nix a little bit more about some of our adventures. You know, let them
How
in
much are you
on...
leaving out?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say I'm gonna
real
need
question.
specifics.
The
is
shameful
the thing.
parts.
What
So you
don't
might
we
want
know?
to pick a story.
Well,
Because some of your stories are illegal.
that's true.
Most
You
of our
make it look
stories
like
are
cops.
illegal.
Not most. I mean, a good chunk of them, but not most.
Illegal where we're from, not necessarily illegal where we are.
Lord.
I shall find
Anyway.
out.
We bought a house.
We did fight a house. There was one point we were actually embarking on a journey. We had happened across a ruined village. And
You familiar with the song Go Go Galone?
Oh no, are we?
probably
I would
hasn't made it
say
across
that
What?
across
neither
the
of you
hammer.
are proficient in history, right?
Mm.
Gosh, no.
No, you guys have no idea. Galone does not ring a bell.
Never heard of it.
Once was a nice small village. By the time we happened to cross it, unfortunately, it had long since been abandoned. And we were passing through, as I recall, not yet night, but we were hoping to find some shelter somewhere close by, and happened across a house in which someone unfortunately had been left to the elements and to the corruption. And I don't know what the magically, technically correct term is, but basically they became the house. They became the house and tried to eat us. Am I right, Roshan? Is that about right?
Yeah, do you remember the craze about 50 years ago to have very shaggy carpet in the house? Oh, this woman had become like that.
Mm-hmm. Basically all of her had become a lot of grass that had spread across the entire floor of the house, and the house did not like being disturbed and came to life and tried very hard to kill us.
It was a house on stilts, and the house used those stilts like scary legs.
Like some vast predatory birdhouse.
And I tied its legs up with a rope, and someone set it. Who set it on fire? Who was? Someone set it on fire.
I feel like it may well have been me. That's usually my go-to play, but it may have been Ave. I'm not sure.
And it ate. Have we told them about Ave yet?
Not much.
It ate Ave, but he was fine. He survived.
Yeah, we got him back out.
Well, that's good. Very fortunate. That sounds. Dear God. And you guys are okay?
Well, okay is a rather broad term.
I don't
We're
think
not
any of us
presently dying.
I don't
So
think any
that's
of us are
good.
really okay. We're severely damaged people.
I suppose
Well,
it's all a matter of perspective, but yeah, we've been through an awful lot over the last several months.
sounds like it. Wild.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's only been one thing after another. Although I will say, I think my absolute favorite memory of that whole leg of that trip was finding that the village of what were their names?
The Mammoth people. Yes.
Yes. I
Canute
feel
was the
terrible. Canute,
Canute,
yes,
Canute
was
was the
their little
youngest.
son.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
he was
parents, what were their names?
precious.
They were adorable. They were very welcoming people. They were wonderful.
We had just come from some ruins, and we were rather badly off.
Worse for wear.
Quite. And happened across this stairwell that made its way down a very sheer cliff face. We didn't know what to expect. We'd found nothing but hostile flora and fauna basically everywhere we'd been in this entire region, and could only assume we were about to find more of the same when we saw smoke coming up from down the ravine. But as it happened, no, it was a lovely little village of elephant-like folk. They were, as Fen said, tremendously welcoming, very warm people. They let us into their homes, they shared their food with us. It was a tremendous night.
Our friend Saga, who's not with us now, she's went home to see her son, but she spoke their language, and
That's right.
yeah, they were just
Hell?
lovely people. I'm sorry, Kel, did I interrupt you?
I did want to ask. You mentioned Ave before. That was your brother.
Yes, he was my older brother. He was chief of Galunda, and at the time that story occurred, we were on a mission with him at his behest, trying to acquire a relic that was meant to help protect the town, stave off the corruption.
I see.
He,
Any luck? Any luck finding it?
Yes and no. We found it in the possession of someone who had beaten us to it, or to what we had thought might be it. Ave had kept the details rather close to the vest. All well and good, but the man who crossed our path had obtained a spear of tremendous power, and he and his men lined up across our path, and Ave went forward to parley with them. And the parley did not go well, and he was slain.
At this point, Fenn's gonna stand up, from sitting around the fire or whatever, and he's gonna go walk away. But as he does stand up, he's gonna put a hand on Nana and Roshan's shoulder, one each, push himself up. But while he does that, he's gonna cast Cure Wounds on both of them. Just Fenn doesn't know how to deal with this emotional shit, so he's just gonna do what he does when he knows other people are hurt. So he's gonna
I
cast
heal
Cure
the
Wounds
emotional harm.
He's gonna try his best. He's gonna try and that's what he's gonna do. They don't need any healing, but they can have it anyways.
Nana will kind of pat his hand as a thanks.
Yeah, Fenn's gonna go out and see if he can find acorns or something. We have a cook now. Maybe we can have acorn pancakes in the morning or something.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever you can forage.
I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't realize.
That's all right. I didn't say. It's funny. It's been such a long time. I would have thought maybe it wouldn't hurt so much, but well.
Maybe just not enough time yet.
Yeah. Maybe.
So what about you two? Any zany adventures you've been on?
You said you'd been traveling about a year when we spoke at the inn, is that right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was around when we left home. See, little less than a year ago now.
Yeah. Definitely nothing as wild as you all have experienced.
No house monsters.
No.
On our
Honestly, I would not want for you to have encountered house monsters. You do not need to outdo us in terms of horrible things that have happened to you. Frankly, if you met a particularly darling horse, I'd love to hear about it.
Hmm. Darling horse.
Fend from the
Or something
distance.
in
Here's
that
darling
vein.
horse. We had a unicorn for a moment.
Sadly, well, actually, no, I think
Briefly.
you can hear through the bubble. Yeah. So, we had a unicorn.
Oh, yeah!
Good ear.
Amazing.
I'm an elf.
Oh,
Yeah, those elves and their ears.
Listening.
Mm.
uh, hmm. What?
Oh.
I mean, we went to this strange city with a skull.
Skull
We-
City.
We didn't.
You've been.
We didn't go in.
Hmm.
We did not go in. We lived close-ish. We don't go in there.
We saw it.
Why didn't you go in?
Don't really want to.
Bad vibes,
Wasn't
or
really welcoming.
Mm.
It's just
Why weren't they welcoming?
I mean, we didn't go in.
Hmm.
Just
Maybe
something.
bad vibes is the best way to put it.
Yeah. Just the way what they're doing there. It's I don't know.
We've heard very little across the Hammer about specifics regarding Skull City. I mean, there's a much more strong taboo in the West than here in the East pertaining to the harvesting of the remains of the gods for
Hmm.
personal gain, to put it shortly. And so the reputation in the West of Skull City is bad. But we've never been. We don't know very much in specifics about the place. What is it they do?
Hmm. Have we heard much about what they do?
If they lived close by?
I mean, if you guys would like me to give you a short bit of information, because you did talk to somebody about Skull City while you guys were beginning your travels. You entered a town where you could like see Skull City, you know.
Ah.
And
Mhm.
when you asked about it, that's when you learned about the use of, in your mind, there's no other word for it, corruption, the use of corruption to power structures and lights and magics inside of the place. And that it is a city run on corruption from your point of view,
Hmm.
siphoned from the skull itself.
Like that. Hey,
So they're using it in the same way as the guard is using it?
I don't know if it's the same. It sounds. What's the word?
I don't know. Like we haven't seen the guard in person. Like we've heard about what he does at the demonstrations. I don't like it. But I don't know. Skull City's it's a different kind of off than what he's doing.
Seems like a different level.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it would help. I could describe to you what it looks like up close, but I haven't the perception to tell you what exactly he was doing.
It's all right.
So Roshan's demeanor has changed from quiet during the talk of Ave to very interested in Skull City.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, so I think he asks, do you not agree with how they are using it? Because we heard, well, the guard is the first person we've seen harness corruption like that. I've never heard anything similar to it. But if Skull City is using it in a similar way, maybe that's where we need to go.
What do you think that we could learn?
Oh, probably a lot.
Hmm.
I'm curious though. I don't think it's something that should be used at all.
I'm certainly leery of powering an entire city off of corruption. I've seen plenty of the damage that it can do.
Well,
But if there's some way we could perhaps reverse engineer it to disadvantage the guard, Bosch, somehow, that might be useful.
Interesting.
also, if we're successful in what we set foot here to do, then hopefully the corruption, we might turn the lights out on Skull City too.
That is a good point.
I don't know how, but we've been following clues, leads from Ave's notes, and they've led us here and seem to suggest that what he did in the West can be done here in the East, and perhaps we can banish corruption from the land. But I don't know why I'm saying this. Please keep that close to your chest. There are a whole lot of people over here, it seems, who would not want that to happen. And I don't know who to trust.
Yeah, I'm starting to gather that.
Yeah. From what we can tell, what Ave wanted to do, keep Galunda safe, keep the West safe from the corruption, it seemed to work. But I don't know that it was without consequence for other places. I don't know that the corruption was not so much purged as pushed elsewhere, which I feel could be why there are more cases of the corruption cropping up here, especially in recent months.
I wonder.
And
Held and Nyx.
Hmm.
I think there is a shudder that runs down your spines as this is admitted to you. In the moment, it seems casual, and then you kind of, as your brain takes stock of it, somebody just admitted to you that they are the reason that corruption got bad over here.
Yeah, well, you scryed on my boyfriend.
You
Yeah,
don't
those
know
are
that.
equal things. Equal
They
Yeah,
are
sure.
equal things.
Very equal.
And I'm gonna scry on him again.
I
Petty.
don't rightly understand everything that Ave meant to happen. We followed his instructions as best we were able, and it was out of an interest of helping our town.
Can I ask, what exactly did he do?
I wish I could explain it. I can tell you that when he died, on his person were final wishes. See, he seemed to have anticipated that the journey would be the end of him. And he wanted his remains preserved until we could get them first to someone who could do a ritual upon his body, and then back to Galanda. It was against every instinct I have ever had, but we did it. When we brought him back, we acted upon the ritual instructions he had left us and placed his remains at the statue in the center of our town. I don't know much beyond that. It seems to have some effect on the town. It banished corrupted things that had been attacking us upon our return. It was also not very long after that that Bosch found us in town and brought corrupted things with him. So, I could not say that it prevented corruption fully from being present within the range of the ritual, but I know that we saw less instances of the corruption naturally around the area.
Fascinating.
You would have to speak to someone who knew the magic better than I to get a more complete explanation, but from the best of my understanding, it was meant to be a ward against the corruption centered upon our town.
I see. Well, that's...
And that is all I can tell from guesswork. Ave, as I said, kept most details of everything to do with our quest to himself unto death. So.
Oh. Seems he left you in the dark a bit as well.
Yes. And I'm still working on how to figure how to feel about any of that, but
That's fair.
all I want is to protect people. Most especially my home, yes, but I don't want to see others suffering for our benefit. I don't want that. So if there's some way that we could make up for any damage that has been done as a result of us following through on these instructions, I want to do it.
Nyx is just gonna get up and walk away.
Hey guys, I've got acorns.
You guys just like two ships in the night. She goes out this way, you enter this way with a
Yeah.
bundle of acorns. Nyx, it is going from this comfortable, warm place where you were starting to feel cold anyways, and stepping back out into the freezing night. Where are you going?
You know, she's gonna start walking for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nyx goes for a bit of a walk.
Do I notice that? Does
Yeah,
Fen-
we
Fen-
walked right by each other.
Yeah. Nyx is just gone. She walks out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to notice that. I rolled for it. I'm gonna dump the acorns. I don't know how successful I was in my foraging, but
Sure, good. I won't make you roll for I want to find acorns and have pancakes, so you can find some acorns.
yeah. So I was
Just
just gonna.
found a
I'm gonna dump them into the bubble, and I'll be right back. And I'm gonna go follow Nyx. And something happened. Are you all right?
No.
What's the matter? Is it Gorbjorn? We can make him sleep in the. He doesn't have to be in the bubble
Actually,
with us. I know
Gorbjorn
he's-
has been like
Oh,
he
okay.
has not left Ink's side, so they're currently in the other cart.
Oh,
We
okay.
could bring him in. He's real fun.
It's not.
I thought it might have been the smell of Gorbjorn, but no. What's the matter?
You are the reason it's like this here. And
We didn't mean to be. We're trying to fix it, or we wouldn't be here.
God, I hope you can.
I'm not sure we can without your help.
What do you think I'm out here doing?
I understand that. We've known you for a whole of 2 days, and I can tell that you and Keld are both special, and that for whatever reason our paths crossed, and now we need your help to set right everything. Everything that's happening here has been happening as long as any of us have been alive at home. We had no reason to believe that this would be pushed off into your lands. We thought we were fixing it for ours. No one indicated that it would hurt other people. We didn't mean it to. We certainly didn't intend it to.
I get that. You can't always know what's going to happen with what you do, but I already planned on killing him. If I find him, I'm going to kill him because that's the only thing I know I can do to fix this.
He might not be the only one, but agreed. Agreed. We're not killers. Nana and I are hunters. We hunt to provide for our people. But we've never set out with the purpose of killing, but I am fully prepared to kill that piece of shit, Bosch. Kill him in his bed if I need to. Not very sporting, but I'd do it. I'm ready now.
It's fine. You don't have to be.
He's manipulating the corruption, but the corruption was always there. The corruption is more powerful than he is. He may be wielding it, but it's a problem in and of itself, and always has been. If you'd come from the West, where we're from, it has always been at least this bad.
And I'm not from there.
Well, glad you're not from there either, because
I bet I'd be dead.
Well, no, being that you're from this land and we don't know anything about it, you can certainly help us. Nix, I'm glad to have met you. I don't take to strangers very warmly. I'm suspicious of almost everyone, but from the moment you strolled into that plaza, and Keld, I could tell both of you were very capable, and it was good that you were here. I am sure there is a reason that you're with us, and I could not be more grateful that you are. And I'm sorry for whatever actions we have done that have made things worse for you and your people, your kind. We're just trying to set them right. And there have been so very, very few we've come across who we could trust to help us in doing that. And you and your brother are some of the first, most genuine people that we've met that I think might actually be able to help us in any way. I'm glad that you're here. Would you like an acorn?
No.
Okay. I've got plenty of them. I found quite a few if you want some, if they'll make you feel better. might want to make them into a tea or something. They kind of upset your stomach a bit if they're not cooked. But
I appreciate it. I really do. But you guys, you can't understand what this has done to me. And it's something I have to deal with on my own. It's fine. Tell me everyone I need to go after, and we'll get to them. I'll find out what I can. I'll take care of the problem.
I understand that instinct that it's something you need to deal with. It certainly is. And I certainly understand the motivation to think you need to do it on your own. But take it from me, someone who has fought for most of their life, they need to do things on their own. Some things can't be done on your own, and you need to surround yourself with people you can trust. I understand that I estimate that you're feeling anger and sadness right now, because I see a lot of that, which I feel in your face right now. I see my feelings expressed on your face. And that makes me hopeful, but also regretful at the same time. We're going to be in that nice warm bubble over there.
Mm-hmm.
When you've had your time, by all means, come and rejoin us. I hope to see you again. But take the time you need. If you need help, let me know. If you want company, I'll sit there and say nothing. I'm very good at sitting very quietly and saying nothing for long periods of time. But if you'd rather be alone, by all means, that as well. Do you want to take Jenny with you?
I think she'd prefer being where there's food.
Okay. Thank you, Nix. I'm glad you're here.
She's gonna keep walking.
And Fenn's gonna go back to the bubble and start scooping up the acorns again. I know how to make some not very appetizing things out of this. I hope, Kel, that you know how to make better tasting things out of these.
I think we can come up with something.
All right. If Nix isn't back in a couple of hours, maybe somebody should go and try and find her.
Yeah.
It's gonna get very
I'm
cold
sorry.
and very dark out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry for laying that all out, but Kild, I hope you can understand this has been a very long journey with few and far between allies we felt we could trust. And if we are to travel for any significant period of time and face the same foes, I feel it unfair to the both of you to leave you in the dark. I know how much it hurts to find how in the dark you have been left. Especially after a long time. Especially after a lot of trust has been built up. It's a betrayal I don't want to emulate. So I apologize for the hurt that my words have given your sister for certain, and I assume also you.
Well, I don't think there's avoiding that. And I honestly feel like the more questions I ask, the more questions I have. So I guess I got to keep asking them.
That's pretty much how I've been feeling for a while as well, so you're not alone in that. And any questions we can answer, we will. And any questions we can't, we'll look for answers together.
Yes, I think together we'll be able to find a lot more.
It's been a while since we've had this many pairs of eyes all looking at once, and it heartens me. I hope that Nyx will find it in herself to come back before too long.
Well, if she doesn't have her own volition, I'm gonna have to go find her.
Well, if you need a second pair of eyes, I'm happy to help. Unless you
Oh,
think she'd probably just turn the other way out of spite of me, which would be fair.
I'll help you find her, but she might have had enough of me by this point. I'm not the most sociable person, and I might have already said too much. So I can track her, but as far as convincing her to come back, I might have done more damage than is uh, already warranted.
I rather doubt you could have done more damage than I did in this case, Fen. But
What on earth did you say, Nana?
told them about the whole affair with Arve and the ritual in Galunda, so...
You tell me not to tell anyone about anything. You constantly
understand.
tell me to keep my mouth shut. What
I
is
know.
going on with you?
Held as you sit between them and they begin to bicker again. There is just like a slight curve to the side of your mouth as like people arguing is not fun, but there is something nice about particular energies of it. As you sit there,
Banter has a certain kind of vibe, as opposed to like an
in
argument.
Yeah.
taking in the energy of the space and understanding the energy of Nyx needing to go. That's why you didn't pursue, understanding she needed that. And Nyx, you continue forward. Um, Incredibly cold, and you can feel your skin starting to get that like that tight sensation as the condensation on your body begins to harden in the cold winter night. And you push forward and sort of eventually find yourself like at a tree that you like can push yourself around, and you watch your breath in front of you. And that is where we are going to take our break. Thank you all for being here. We love telling a story. We're going to take a 10-minute break. Go get a snack, go get a drink, and we'll hop back into it and see what's up. God, you gotta love the drama, don't you? You gotta love it. I'll see you guys in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Ten.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Call for episode 104 of On the Backs of Gods. And I think we're going to jump back into it. The party has spent their first night on the road together, and Nana seeing it prudent to inform them about
Our fucking
why
life
corruption.
story.
All of it.
It started with not saying you were in the valley, but telling a story from being in the valley, and escalated to we're the reason that corruption is bad here now, to which Keld takes it in and like, oh, and then Nyx is gone. Nyx leaves. And at this point, she is currently a good bit away from, you cannot see the dome at this point. And I would venture to guess people actually in the dome could not see you at your distance currently, unless you were just like standing there like T-posing out in the middle of the field.
Waving him out.
I'm right here.
T-posing to assert dominance.
But you sort of lean up against this tree. There's just like the tightness of your skin as all the moisture starts to freeze on the outside. And the parts that had started to melt in the dome, like a piece of hair begins to stick to your forehead. What would you like to do?
First, she's gonna see what else is in the bag other than money.
You kind of pissed off, open up the bag, and you saw them like be like, ooh, gold pieces. So you know, you're like, gold piece. Oh, you have 200 platinum pieces in your bag.
Right.
Yours is not gold pieces. It's platinum.
Okay.
And there's also a, like, you can see it sort of sticking up slightly past the coin, and you kind of push it aside to pull it out. It's a palm-sized stone that has the carving of a person going like this, as if they're like whispering into somebody's ear. And it has like a little like thin strip of like paper like tied around it. And you look at it and you can see as you move it, the paper itself shimmers. And you can see like some words on top, and then those fade to the words you can see. That says, contact when knowledgeable. Also, looking into your last request. You now have a sending stone
Famous.
and 200 platinum pieces.
What was her last request again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was
could
like,
just
it's up to
scroll
Nyx
up.
if they want to
Greg
share.
took
but-
notes.
Yep. The last request
Referring
was-
to the corruption thing, right?
to corruption. It was a question about
Yeah.
corruption
Yeah.
that Brilla did not have an answer to. But it seems that she's like, I'll look into it. You know. Give and take.
Apparently that bug was worth a lot of money.
Seems so.
Just gonna push that aside and take her little pot out, and fill it again, and spy on someone's boyfriend. Not that she
Cool.
knows that that's a boyfriend.
I don't think you know that.
I do not. Nothing's been said.
Yeah, you don't know. You only know that the party knows this guy.
Yeah,
That's all you know.
that's all I know.
All right.
So I'd love to spy on Egil some more.
I think he like now that you like now
I've
that
seen him.
now that you've seen him, he gets like fucking negatives to this shit. I don't think he can physically avoid you now. What does he get for what's his role? I don't have it up currently. That's my fault.
Let's see. I need a wisdom roll. 18. Let's see. Does it count this as firsthand since I've seen him? I haven't met him.
You haven't met him, but he did introduce himself to
He
you.
did.
So, one moment. One moment, don't mind me. Just real quick, hey, what's happening back at the orb?
Yeah. What good stories are being told? at
Held,
the
you
orb?
doing anything at the orb? Roshan, what are you guys doing?
Excuse me.
I think Roshan's just going to open up his Ave's journal and read the stuff he's read before. And a question that he has that I don't know that there's information on the topic, but he wants to know when Gulveg might have died, or what were the circumstances of that. It seemed delightfully sparse.
Boy, howdy was it. Where's the secret writing, Jillian?
Yes.
The most
Actually, I think I
secret-
already have Eagle's page pulled up. And he gets a -5 to this. His wisdom. Ooh, what a spicy guy. The thing is, I think I was rolling for these wrong, and
Oh.
now we'll see if this ever works again. So
Oh, no.
-5 to his wisdom saving throw. The math got harder, guys. Now there's subtraction.
Uh-oh.
Hmm. You place your face to the water and you feel yourself pulled into the rapids. And it's almost as if you're in a kayak and you slam into stone. You are pushed back.
Wow.
You are unable to scry on him tonight,
Not tonight.
but you can try again tomorrow.
Makes her really mad. She knows the name Valrone. Love to spy on her instead.
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
Go for it.
He
Use
specifically
raw
said.
capacity.
Ugh.
I'm
He
going to scry on
specifically
every
said
name you
her.
said.
No, Egil said her name. So.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's true. All right.
Except you get a +5 for me for this because I don't know her.
You exist, are you real? One moment.
She's probably just lounging by the pool with her hand lawn chair.
Wisdom saving throw. Okay,
Mhm.
so she gets a +5.
Mm-hmm. She does.
Once again, gritting your teeth, you push your face into the bowl and you are pulled into the rapids. And you are once again pushed away.
I think she just get up and throw the pot at the tree in anger.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll strength for me.
It's so bad.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hey, at least that's a +0 on it. So. It's a solid 5.
It hits and slides down the tree very casually.
Mhm.
It does not injure the pot though.
Good. Would have been sad.
Yeah, that would have been rough. That would have been rough, buddy.
I feel like Keld's just digging through his pot, which he's now kind of brought in front of him. It's got all these acorns, so he's like trying to meal prep for the morning.
Nana
I will
kind
say,
of assist a little bit. Like, I don't know if she's managed to learn any of that shit, but
the people who are currently in the orb
Oh.
with Keld, you watch as he like kind of reaches over to his traveling pack, and almost like a magic trick where you like pull the tablecloth off of a table, he like pulls off the fabric of the bag and you realize it wasn't a bag at all. it was a vessel for a large pot containing
Oh.
all of Keld's belongings.
How big is this
There is-
pot?
Big enough to
It's
hold all
large?
of his belongings.
Holy shit!
It's the size of a backpack.
I get the reasoning for the nickname now.
So do you? Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe. But you start prepping. Roshan's reading he book. And Nix, how long do you stay away?
At least an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta simmer down.
There is a point where it starts to hurt a little bit
Yeah.
being
That's
outside.
probably around when she's like, fine. I'll go back to this bubble.
Yeah, and you make your way back and enter into this warm space, which is at least nice. At least it's warm.
She'll set up a
Who's-
spot far away from everyone else.
Wherever Keld is, you just pick the opposite side, so you're like as far from the group as possible.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
And with that, who is going to take first watch?
Nana's going to do that. Yeah.
Think with her thoughts.
Yep. Gonna process some thoughts. Groom Thick Biscuit. Try not to dwell on how shitty she feels. Fail.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception check with disadvantage.
That makes sense. Dwelling does not make for a very perceptive watch person.
It's mostly your eyes.
Yeah. Okay,
your
that's
your
not
very
too bad.
human eyeballs.
That's also true. Very
Pissing
human.
off the one person that could have given you dark vision.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's fine.
By one chance at dark vision.
Oh
It's
no.
okay. I don't mind. 22 with
22.
disadvantage.
Yeah, you know, when you're in your head, it doesn't mean you can't just slowly be on a swivel.
Just because I'm whispering my woes to my horse doesn't mean I can't also be listening for approaching threats in the night.
Roshan, are you going to sleep tonight?
No.
Not even gonna pretend.
No, I think he's done pretending going to sleep.
That's fair.
Well, everybody in the party knows now except the two new people in the party. It's not a
Uh-huh.
secret.
And I mean, so long as we're outing secrets to the newbies, might as well keep
by
on
the
a
way,
roll.
this guy
By
doesn't
the
fucking
way-
sleep. What's the
Yeah,
deal with this
don't worry
shit?
about it.
This fucking guy. Roshan, you're sitting there and reading. And then there's like the warped space of the inside of the bubble next to you where you're sitting, and you can see it kind of out of the corner of your eye. And you can see a difference in the warp next to you. And you can't see it physically in the space next to you, but in the warped sort of fisheye lens. Oh no, am I back? Hello?
I see you, I
Yeah,
hear you.
you're there.
Hello, could you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear
I
us?
can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good.
Everybody looks a little rough, but that's okay.
I'm just
Everybody
ugly.
looks a little wobbly.
Now you're silent.
Yeah. You back?
No,
No,
I
Now
can hear
you're
everybody
silent.
but Jillian.
Yeah,
No.
we cannot hear her.
Nope.
So when she was paranoid, it was working, and now that we're trying to get back, we can't. There she
There you
is.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Um, I was
The joys of
trying
remote streaming.
to mime. I was
Uh-huh.
booted from the Zoom. Talk amongst
Oh.
yourselves.
I got
Oh,
that.
Oh. I
was
failed that
booted from the
perception
it's
check.
Zoom.
fine. We played
Talk
charades
amongst
instead.
yourselves.
Mhm, mhm.
interesting. I got booted from that and nothing else, but I'm not going to question it. I'm back.
Nope. Yep.
Roshan, you can see the image. We're also frozen on here. I'm just double checking.
We still have Nathan in the
Yeah, but we
producer's
have
chair.
frozen. We've frozen in the doodad.
No,
Oh,
I see us moving in the stream.
Yeah, mine
Okay,
seems to be working.
mine's broken. Hi, everybody. All my stuff broke.
Yeah, this might be an Atlanta problem.
But Greg's fine. He's in the other room.
Greg's never tried to kill us.
Well, now I'm
yet.
gonna try even harder. Okay, I'm back. Hey, everybody, I'm fine. I'm focusing. Everything exploded. Now I'm good. I'm back. Roshan. You can see this warped image next to you, and it is of the shadow filling this space, sitting next to you. And the shadow is currently staring in Nana's direction.
I think he would. Yeah, I think he would slowly cast silence as a ritual just on himself in that area. And I mean, it would get probably the sleepers closest to him, but that's his normal.
I'd love you to roll sleight of hand, or is there verbal components?
There is.
So I'd like a stealth roll
Okay.
to see if you are unseen.
Ooh, a bastard 20.
Nana, you got a 22 on your perception while you were looking around, correct?
I did earlier, yes.
You watch Roshan cast a spell casually.
Well, I mean, it's not unusual that Roshan is up late and doing spells and things, especially since he's been reading Ave's journal, so...
Yeah,
All
but
right.
you realize he has cast a spell.
Okay.
Don't turn the volume up on my phone like you would fucking know me. Okay. Sorry, all my devices are turning back on just one at a time and just like fucking kicking in the door. Like, we're here to stream.
Oh my god!
But you cast silence. What would you like to do, Roshan?
I think he stares down at the journal in his lap and asks, "Are you looking at anything in particular?"
You can see the head shift and look at the paper. And then sort of an indignant turn away from it and continue to look at Nana very pointedly.
Great. Very forthright with the answers. Yeah, I think Roshan will drop the spell and just go sit next to Nana and place a hand on her shoulder and then find that she's still awake-ish and say...
But she's on watch.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
on
you're
watch.
on watch.
I'm out with Thick Biscuit, grooming him and kind of keeping an eye out on things. Oh shit! You can't leave the bubble.
He'll toss
I'm
like...
assuming you don't stay at Thick Biscuit for 2 hours like this.
Not for a whole 2 hours. That's probably true. I would
Let her
probably
roll
come
her
back
animal
in
handling
after
and
a
she'll
while.
be right back inside.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at some point you come back in.
Yes.
And you are approached by Roshan.
Okay.
Nana, can I try something?
Sure. What did you have in mind?
Roshan starts like he asks you to sit down, and then he places the journal on your back and then starts ritual casting Identify, which, if cast on a person, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
Interesting. Okay. Nana will comply. She'll sit. It's a little
Nana has no
weird,
idea
but
what's happening, but
no
chills there.
idea, but you know.
I think, yeah, so you would recognize, after seeing him do it so many times, that he's casting Identify.
Okay.
It's
all
the first
right.
time he's cast it on a person, but
Little odd,
From
but-
behind. So, but
Yeah.
we'll assume you can catch on fast enough.
Yeah, yeah.
After 10 minutes of sitting there, you're like,
yeah.
oh,
Okay,
okay.
all right. That's this one.
Something's being identified.
Hmm.
What could it be? Roshan, during this time, you watch the shadow stand up from its position and slowly walk, its body like arched and bent from the shape of the orb as it walks and sort of flanks Nana with you and is just seeming to be watching. She's not affected by any spells.
I think he would look up to the shadow and try to catch its face and see if it gives off any other helpful, longing glances.
So Nana's just here. You're like behind her. So Nana's just like chilling. And
Mhm.
you and the shadow are staring directly at each other. You jumped to magic before comfort? Comfort.
I think Roshan just gets embarrassed and says,
Nana doesn't see any of that, of course. She's just kind of
Ivan, she's
waiting.
like-
She's like waiting to see if there's a prognosis or something.
Yeah, she
Huh?
hears nothing. She can't see the shadow, but she's just like, all right. So she's
yeah,
vibing.
I think Roshan breaks eye contact with the shadow and then comes around Nana's side and says, I guess it didn't work. I thought maybe I could tell if there was something magical about you, or if there's any leftover corruption, but
Right. Any kind of corroboration of Bosch's claims. That makes sense. I appreciate you looking. Thank you.
yeah, maybe I did something wrong. I'll have to hit the book again.
That's all right. The effort's appreciated anyway.
You really told them everything. Well, almost everything.
I didn't want it to be like with Ave, you know? We're only just now finding out so much. From his journal, not from him. If I'm remembering correctly, Nana saw the message in the front of the journal that said burn it.
Yeah, I think
Back in...
by now,
I
at
think-
least, yeah.
Yeah, I think you showed her that.
And even... It wasn't even information we were meant to find.
Well, that's not entirely true. One of the last pieces in there mentioned that, or alluded to him expecting that I would find it. And He probably would have expected Rose to find it too if she were in my position.
Both being gifted magically like you are, that makes sense. I just...
More like gifted and not listening to what we're told.
Well, there is that. Aren't you mad at all at Ave for... None of what we were expected to do was made clear at any point. We were given very specific instructions and very few reasons to follow them beyond just, it will help our home. It will protect our friends and our family. And look what it's done. I can't justify leaving anyone willing to face this corruption head on, that in the dark, for any length of time. I can't. There's a lot of things I wish I was like Ave in, but that isn't one of them.
As much as I want to, I can't be mad at him. He wasn't forthright. He hid things. And he put us all in danger. But in the end, he did protect Golunder. Maybe at the cost of Golunder's patron goddess. But
how do you mean?
What good is a goddess that brings prosperity to a dead town? It's better that the town lives. I don't know that Golveg had anything to do with this, but she was there long enough to bless Ave, and perhaps one of her blessings was inspiration. Was it the inspiration that he should be the one to kill her and heal the land, or was her gift her swan song? He doesn't say anything about it in here. But I've been thinking, do we need to bring someone back? Do we need to... Should we find someone to take Golveg's place in Golunder?
Another god? Or another Ave, you mean?
No. Not another Ave, but another deity, someone to protect them when corruption is no longer the problem.
I don't know that I've thought that far ahead.
Does Roshan know of any gods who would be like cool to take over the domain?
So you know, okay.
You met two
You
gods.
personally have met
You
two.
know two gods, and you don't really know any others. It would be like you'd have to call them up somehow.
Yeah. I mean, he's ready to sit down and do a pray once in a while, just to like.
What you have to do is you have to post an ad on indeity.com.
Oh my god!
Listen, if you want a god, you gotta go find one, or hit up any of the ones you've met in corporeal form.
No, they all suck.
Valid.
I definitely don't feel like Loki should be taking that mantle up.
I think
For
Loki
their
would say
own-
yes faster than Broggy would. I think Broggy'd be like,
I don't think that's to Loki's credit, though, as a good fit for the role.
oh, Loki says yes and then never shows up. Like, he's like, yes, give me the job. He does not show up.
Yeah.
He's too busy with his part-time job.
He's got a job already, guys.
Yeah.
He gets
Haunting a
minimum wage at
tower.
that bakery.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He loves his bakery job. Anywho.
I don't know.
They let him take home the stale pastries.
Oh my god.
What else is the guy gonna eat?
Yeah. In his never-ending time loop travel tower thing. Anyway. Well, I don't see Broggy being thrilled about taking up the position, and I don't believe Loki would be a...
A boon?
That's putting it kindly. But... I don't know, It seems like every god we've come across has either been dead or not
Dismembered?
precisely. No, there's that. I don't know, Roshan. As kind as the Nine Sisters have been, they're the closest that I've seen to a genuinely kindly, godly presence, and the only person who's really been able to get in consistent touch with them is currently in a coma, so... I don't dislike the idea, but I don't know that we'd be able to find a way to execute on it.
Well, maybe... I think Roshan thinks to the other pantheons he's encountered and immediately crosses both of them out. Maybe Aliona's friends.
Bob's raising his fucking hand like, hello?
Nope. Nope.
What's up?
Nope.
And
What are we
then Tall's friends got in a fight so bad with their gods that the world flooded, so...
Yeah.
That's not good.
Nah.
Yeah.
Seemed temperamental, not exactly trustworthy.
Hmm.
Not very good, stable, long-term investments.
So maybe the Kivik Library has some guidance.
I mean,
Some
we only hope.
resumes.
Maybe there's someone doing a religions thesis there who can give us some ideas.
Pick up some god CVs.
Oh, this one doesn't have
maybe.
a cover letter. I'm not even gonna fucking look at it.
We'll see. It certainly sounds as though the Kivik Library is where we're being directed. I can only hope that we actually find some answers there. More and more questions we ask, like Keld said, the more questions we find. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's really why I wanted to be as upfront with them as I was. Maybe it wasn't the best decision. And I know I hurt them both, and I don't like that, but I wouldn't have wanted for them to find out who knows how far down the road, and for it to hurt as bad as...
Well, you're far more forthright than I would have been than I was in the same situation.
You've never been forthright in your life, Roshan.
Maybe you're right. But is it such a bad thing? I don't know.
Well, I don't know, when you're staining your sleeve red, it's certainly something that I'd like to know about. But let's not Let's not have all that out right now, not tonight.
The audacity.
Yeah, well.
I think he looks down to his sleeve and it's clean by now,
Yeah,
but I think he knows what you're talking about
yeah.
and changes the subject and says, so, did we have to wake somebody for the second watch?
I think we
Taking second watch, boys.
I think we rather should. I don't know that I'll be able to sleep soon, but I'll need to rest.
Was it Killed or Fen?
It could.
Or did they
it
want to
could
hang
be-
out together?
Both?
Hey, I love when people talk to each other as both of you are woken up for your shift. But nobody else has a heart-to-heart tonight as I just bulldoze into the next day.
That makes sense. We
try
have
again
places to
later.
be.
Just one second. As Roshan does that, I think he catches the gaze of the shadow and just like gives the shadow an angry glare. But at the same time does feel a little bit more comforted after talking to Nana.
I thought for a second you were going to say caught the gaze of Keld and Fen from across the room as we lean in for the kiss, and then Jillian bulldozes in.
Start to lean in, and I'm like, so the next night.
Uh-huh.
What?
You break Nix's heart on the first night, and you also kiss her brother.
And you kiss her brother. All right,
You
guys,
guys
coming
are
in
coming
hot.
in spicy.
Nick started spilling the tea, and then we just had to fan the flames.
Okay, so
Caliente.
I'll not to tell y'all what you're doing, but you guys are just having a casual night of conversation.
Yep.
Super cash.
I'm trying to learn
It's
how
like-
to cook. It's not taking, but
We're
like
discussing pancakes.
Yeah.
The first one, always bad. Can't be good,
No,
impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But that watch goes over unimpeded. Who's the third?
Fen's up. Fen's got his long rest for the night, so
Sure, Fen can take the rest of them. Roshan doesn't assist, even though he's awake.
Fen
A
takes
vibe.
watch. Roshan
Awkward.
to sleep.
And the next morning she comes in the form of snow falling onto all of you as the bubble pops.
Oh, God damn it, not again!
Oh shit! I'm sorry. We've been sleeping in town for so long. I forgot to brush off the roof. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
But
it's
all of you
fine.
have had a long rest. I believe some of you get to choose your spells every day. So if you wish to change anything, that's on you. But you can see Ink and Gorbjorn are also up, and it sounds like pancakes are had, and you all continue forward on to day 2.
Woo!
And the day she passes as she does. There are other people on the road. The morning is a bit cold. Doesn't get too much warmer from the night prior. You can see that like throughout the day, like after Nyx kind of has to keep like pushing hair into like particular positions when she gets up, because that's how it's gonna freeze. So it's like trying to make sure there's no pieces like stuck to her skin.
No.
And it eventually freezes in place.
Amazing.
You all continue forward. Is there anything for the road?
I'm going to spend today trying to introduce Jenny to Keld. So,
Sure.
yeah, it's the same thing as yesterday, but like with Keld this time.
All right. Animal handling check, please. Not you, Kel.
I got a 17 last time. I got a 17 again.
God damn it, dude!
Powder.
Food motivated, very food motivated, only food motivated.
right.
God damn it.
She knows his name, whether or not she ever chooses to go to him, that's fine. But just the introductions have been
personal
made.
choice.
We can build relationships after this. Like,
Mm.
this is just preliminary introductions.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it doesn't work, it's just like, good job meeting a new friend, Jenny. You did a really good job meeting somebody today. You did a really good job.
It was a pleasure to
Um,
meet you, Jenny.
She's like picking ticks out of his fur.
Oh yeah,
Keld
there
will be
are
the most
points
reliable person for us to send her to.
where that bird probably does try to like nest in like the crook of your neck at points, because you are
Fluffy
you
and
are
warm.
warmer. You are covered in fur. So Jenny's like,
Cute.
interesting.
Hmm.
Good to know. Good to know.
Hmm.
But you all continue onwards, the day seeming to pass at a slow pace as you know, have to keep at Ink's pace,
Mhm.
which is not the quickest.
No.
Is there anything else before you make camp for the second night?
I think Roshan's going to reach out to Dagwood. So first he'll ask, is there anything that can be answered easily that I should ask of Dagwood?
Well, from the impression you've given in the past, she's rather closely watched. I think anything you ask of her ought to be a pretty simple yes or no sort of question. Unfortunately, what we'd really like to know is about where she is. Perhaps you could ask her if she is, I don't know, further east than the Kivik Library? And she could say yes or no to that.
That's a good idea. So Roshan reaches out with magic in the form of sending and says, I hope your captors are treating you well enough. Are you okay? Are you already east of the Kivik Library? Please be safe.
I was so busy counting. I'm like, oh shit, there was like 3 questions in there. Safe. Did you say east or west of the Kivik Library?
East.
Okay. Working on interesting things. Yes. Yes, I am. Are you okay, though? And that's where it stops.
He does not message back.
Oh, leave her hanging.
She's
Mhm.
had no contact with anyone but her captors for who knows how long. And he just
How are you?
leaves her on red.
Understood. Hey, this costs spells, boys.
I mean, that's true. Maybe save it till evening.
So Roshan will tell the group to whom it matters. It seems like Dagwood's been put to work on something which makes me worry more about her captors.
They want her for a purpose, not just for some sort of, I don't know, ransom.
Yes.
I
Um,
think if you gave me some time, and if I had a good enough map, you get 25 words, right? I could probably
If-
make a yes or no cipher geographically where we could figure out where she was to some degree of accuracy. I can't do it right now, but like if I had a map to sit down and look, I'm sure I could make that happen.
she seemed freer with her words this time.
Hmm.
She might not know where she is exactly. She knows she's east of the Kivik Library. And so perhaps the next time I reach out, I'll ask her if she's near Skull City.
Can
What's
only imagine someone in Skull City would probably want Dagwood for her magic talents.
Regardless of whether she knows where she is or not, Nana and I have a fairly good idea of what season we're in and how far north or south snow might be at this time of year or at what elevation. Um, it could get us better than a guess.
Is this an ally of yours?
She is,
It's-
and a friend.
She doesn't like me, but yeah, she's done good for us. She's a friend.
We're worried. She's been kidnapped for some time, taken
You know by
from
who?
the west out here to the east, and now she's already east of the Kivik Library, near as we can tell.
Who has her?
We don't know.
She
my
couldn't
worry
move.
is the only person I know with enough resources to handle that. I mean, in the entire East, could be Olavi, the HMC, or the Kiln.
Hmm.
I think Bosch could probably handle something like that, but it would have been a whole lot messier. And who else do we know studying, I don't know, end of world magic?
Passing interest of hers. Certainly would be interesting too. I can only imagine any one of those folk, but maybe I'm biased. I'm more inclined to think the Kiln.
That's my guess as well, from what we know, which could mean that he's gathering people for something. If he's befriended Bosch like we think, what is he doing? That's what scares me.
I'd like to know what she's actually working on. What sort of projects they have her at. But I doubt she can give us much information without being overheard. If she wasn't immediately dissuaded from messaging you back.
When's the last time any of us have reached out to Morden? Maybe he can provide us more details. How she was taken or if she's been in touch.
Who?
Morden,
Morden!
her
Her
goblin
assistant.
friend.
I think Eagle's men reached out to him, and we got information on how she was taken. It was quiet, not unlike the work that Eagle's men sometimes do, but Roshan doesn't think Eagle would have lied about it, does he?
Real quick, I just want to add to quiet. They burned her house down.
Oh,
Just a reminder. They burned her house to the ground. And
That did
I mean, I'll
happen.
be straightforward. Eagle is very much capable of doing this type of job.
Yeah. But does Roshan, he doesn't have any reason not to trust Ego.
I can't speak for Roshan in this case of what he thinks his boyfriend may or may not do.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. You think deep inside that he would do this. No, all up to you, baby.
In an attempt to garner some goodwill from Keld and mostly Nyx, Roshan will explain that Dagwood is, well, the townsfolk would call her a witch. She's probably more knowledgeable than that, though I believe her power is more similar to mine in different ways. She'd love to find Jormungandr. She loves staring at the ocean and hoping to see a serpent that will swallow the world out there.
I suppose any of us would like to know definitively when the world is ending, so I can identify with that impulse.
Would we?
I mean, I'd rather see it coming.
I don't mean to pry, but
Agree to disagree.
I haven't really had the chance to ask you what powers do you have, Roshan?
Oh, just
Wedding immediately.
The
Just-
regular kind.
Just regular.
what I
Regular.
what I
Medium.
learned studying with my mentor, and elaborated on.
He speaks of his book learning with Ave.
Okay, I was just like, what?
I'm a wizard.
The devil went down to Glenda. He was looking for a soul to steal.
There's no
Jesus.
devils here.
Unless-
Unless.
Me and my sister both have innate affinities for magic. And learning with Ave, who was touched by the goddess of magic,
Oh,
is
wow.
how I got here today.
I didn't realize.
That was a lot of words for not saying anything that you can do.
Oh, yeah. I can heal.
It's fine. Do you have anything of hers? I can try and check on her.
Wow. You know what? We might have to have a sass off. We had an arm wrestling contest between Gorbjorn and Keld to determine which one of them was stronger, but which one is sassier, Nyx or Roshan? Let's have this
Jenny.
contest right now. Let's have it out there.
I think Jenny's already won this 10
Yeah,
times
Jenny
over,
won.
Yeah,
First
Jenny won
day.
that one.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Jenny's
Jenny has that in
chirping
the bag.
chirping
It's a fight
from
for
my shoulder,
second.
right?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
sorry. Yeah, I'll check that. Sorry, honey.
Mm.
She flies away.
Aggressively eats a grub.
But she says, Nick says, if you have something of hers, I can look
Oh,
in
yeah.
on her.
Roshan reaches into his pack and pulls out a small pouch of pearls. I know she helped prepare these with Ave. And now that Ave is gone, perhaps this would be enough. What sort of magic are you talking about?
See people.
You can see people.
It doesn't always work. Yeah. We were talking about possibly checking in on family members from back where you're from
You
Oh.
did mention
for
it.
you.
I can see like 90 feet in the dark. I thought that was impressive, but back where we're from, that's a long ways away.
Harder if I don't know them, but
Got some good tricks up her sleeve.
Well, yes. Be careful. If she's been taken, there may be someone even stronger keeping eyes off her. That being said, I've not had any trouble contacting her. So
they can't see me. If they might be able to know someone's there, but not who.
oh, well, that's handy.
Hurry.
I like her.
Nix, are you going for it right now?
Yeah, sure. She'll hop off and grab a bucket of snow and sit on the cart and scry with these
You
pearls.
sit there for a bit, just kind of waiting for the snow to melt, and finally you're just like, and you just like craft the water to melt.
Yeah.
Um,
She just gets annoyed at it.
You take like the satchel of pearls, and the story you're given about it, you're not entirely positive if it will help or not, but you're like, they're here, and you set them down and you lean towards the water and you feel yourself rush into the rapids. Here we go, lads. What's your save? 18?
18.
And you are pulled through the water past the spot where your mind normally stops. I just want to say she got like a 17. Just put it out there. Pushes forward, and you are brought into a darkened space. It's lit by a few candles, perhaps. Stone walls. And a tall woman. Pale skin, long black hair, sort of pulled back away from her face a bit. She looks tired. And you see that she's moving through this space, this darkened interior. And she kind of goes near, and you can see at just the edge of her finger the beginnings of a bookshelf that she like runs her fingers over. And she stops and she like looks over, and you move with her as she makes her way again through the room back in the direction she came. And you watch as she leans forward. And then just as she gets close enough coming into view, you see sitting, it looks like on the edge of a bed, is a young goblin man who she kneels in front of and sort of like touches his cheek. Don't worry. It's going to be fine. I'm excited. A bit. A bit. And she stands back up again and makes her way over to an area where there are two tables next to each other, and it is covered in some things that look interesting and some things that are knickknacks and garbage. It is, you would not know this, but if anyone else were to see it, a representation of her home on these two tables, just a hoarded mess of things as she goes over and glances about it. Morden, could I see the papers, please, just very quickly? And you can hear the slight kind of tip tap of feet as the man comes over, and he gets like right next to her so you can see him. And it looks like he's like very stealthily like looking side to side. And he kind of pulls a piece of paper like out from the side of his shirt. It looks like there was like a built-in pocket into his blouse so that he could put these papers here. He pulls it out and he sort of sets it up in front of her, and she's like, go watch the door real quick for me if you'd be so kind. Oh, if they reach out to you, because I just get left on red, I suppose. Not like I've been kidnapped or anything. I suppose give what you can, if you have anything. Ask them if they're well. And the little goblin man moves out of frame of your sight as the orb that is your eyes kind of shifts and moves with her as she kind of pushes the papers along casually on the table until she is like at the very edge and just sort of like turns her body casually and looks at them. You watch as she casually like kind of moves her hands and casts a spell where you watch just, it looks like little snowflakes fall from the fingertips and onto the paper. And you can see now that the paper is blank. And you watch as each little snowflake hits, words start to appear on it. And it is a jumble of runes and like messy script. And go ahead and give me a perception check if you'd be so kind.
Is a 19.
19, okay. Are you proficient at all in Arcana?
Definitely not.
I
could try to memorize some runes though.
Yeah. As you start to look at it, you're like, okay, you start to kind of focus in to be like, I'm going to replicate these later. Oh my God. As like a simple line use like or staring at, you see that it is made up of tiny, tiny, tiny runes.
Oh no.
There is no complete line that you can see on this. It is a jumble of things you could not even begin to comprehend. As she kind of like places a hand on it and picks it up and looks at it. Did I do the right thing? That shouldn't. And she folds the paper up and pushes it to the side. Morden, come put this back in your shirt, please. And she watches her and Morden pass each other in space. And you can see by her movement, she's walking up steps. And you watch as she gets and stops. And it looks like she's rapping on a door. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yes. I feel like talking. And you can hear the sounds of footsteps walking away from the door. And you can hear movement and murmurs of conversation past it that your perception check cannot give you. But before anything else happens, she takes a few steps back on the stairwell. At least it'll be fun. And you are pulled back into the space.
What does it look like as Nyx is coming back out of her scry?
She's just staring into a pot of water the whole time.
Okay.
Like really close to the surface. It probably just jumps back a little as she comes back to, herself. And think she's gonna look at Roshan and be like, can you ask her if she's talking to them right now? And if she is, if she'll let me watch.
Oh,
Sure.
If
Roshan-
she agrees, I can just do it.
Roshan does another sending and says, I'm fine. Are you talking to them right now? If so, can my friend watch? Are you in Skull City?
Feeling a bit violated at the moment, but you know. Sure. Tune in. And that's the end of her reply.
oh boy.
Here we come.
She said sure.
I'm gonna go back in.
Okay. Good luck. Who's she talking to?
You lean back and you're like, no, I'm paying for season 2 right now.
Yeah.
And
The conversation was just about to start.
I'm binging it now.
you okay. You move through the space easier than normal as you move through the rapids and return back into this space, and she is staring directly at you. Which one of you can do that? Hi there. Don't ruin this for me. And she straightens up and stands and walks over to the table. Play it cool, play it casual. You're casual. Let's see if she can play it casual.
Do
I
it.
made
You
her
can do
nervous.
it. We believe in you.
We're watching you. Shush. She waits. Give me a perception check.
That is a dirty 20.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Can't remember exactly how much field of view you have. And you see she's like casually like moving her position, like you can see all of me. So you watch as she takes her arms and like casually spreads them out and places them on the table so that she takes up more space, and it actually widens your field of view a little bit.
Oh, she's so smart.
And she just stands casually and waits.
Looking
with
like
kind of
she's
eyes
owning the
darting.
space too.
Yeah, eyes darting from you. Those are the stairs I'm also looking at, just so you know. And as she glances that way, you hear a sound. Kind of sharp, and it breaks the silence. It's the sound of someone coughing. Sort of muffled, as if, past the door. Just like hard labored coughing. And then the sound of the door swinging open. Dagwood playing it very casual, very chill. You can hear shaky goblin breathing off to the side. And there are steps. You can hear the creak of wood as someone makes their way down. Like, what? I heard you're willing to talk. By all means, let's talk. And you hear the coughing and the sound of her spitting. And you can hear, as this gets closer and closer in steps, Dagwood keeping an eye that way. Well, I just thought, I like to eat, survival-centric things, and maybe I'm a bit interested. Just a bit. And her eyes just like glance slightly towards the camera, just a little. And she straightens up and she turns and she's like, do you need like a glass of water or something? It's like, do you need something? I'll be just fine. Tell me about this. And the footsteps approach. And out of the corner of your vision, you can see a shadow kind of cast onto the wall of a figure. And you watch as a hand moves into view. And just as that hand enters view, your vision begins to blur and you are ripped back and away the second this thing enters the field of view. And you got a 20, you said?
Yeah.
The hand with its split second of existing in frame. You can see that the hand is fully black and damp as you are pushed away. It's the same kind of as if a dispel happened, but you are shunted from the place and pushed back more forcefully from the bowl. And you're back with the water beginning to freeze kind of on the tip of your nose and the tips of your hair that fell into the water. But you are back in the space.
Breaks the pot off of her face.
All right.
What did you see?
I couldn't see their faces, the face at all, but the person's hand was dark in color, kind of wet, like mine. They were coughing a lot. I don't know.
So was it the person who was coughing with the dark hand?
It's what it seemed like.
Do we remember Eitri speaking ever?
She did not really speak.
Great.
Yeah, the most she did, I think, is she gave you like a wink and then like was speaking to the man with the spear kind of closely.
I feel like we would have
Yeah,
noticed her
she's-
coughing a lot.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said to
didn't hear a lot of
Gold Chin
coughing.
Joe. She said to Gold Chin Joe that whatever the guy who Roshan convinced to friends him, he can handle this, whatever his name was. So we heard Eitri talk.
Oh,
I mean, a lot can
I-
also happen in
several months.
several months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
that's
also
true.
going to say this. I think only Nana. I feel like it would have only been the marshals because I know Nana went fully in and was literally struck down by Gold Chin Joe.
Yeah, Fen was
So
a
Nana,
ways
you
away.
could give
Fen
me,
was,
you could roll intelligence, Nana, if you would,
Okay.
if you would like to.
I would enjoy the
But
opportunity.
you were up in their business for probably the longest amount of time,
That makes sense.
which was until you were just like beaten into the dirt.
Yeah, very aggressively.
Very aggressively.
I got a dirty 20 on my intelligence check.
There you go. Very smart.
For once.
Hey,
You don't remember her coughing.
Okay.
You do remember her voice was a little raspy, just like a little bit. But no coughing.
I recall there was one moment I heard Eitri talking, and She sounded a little raspy. I don't recall any kind of coughing like you've described, Nix, but
Hmm.
I suppose a lot could change in several months. Maybe
Hmm.
whatever caused the rasp could have advanced in that time.
Well,
I don't know.
Nana, as an observation, until we made a new friend, you had picked up a bit of a cough at some point too,
Yeah,
until it was
Yeah.
treated.
yeah, I know. I wonder. That just makes me question if Eitri and, by extension, the Kiln, McKeel or whatever his name is, are also
Well-
working with some sort of corruption, or if it's something else.
It sounds like we weren't wrong. I think McKeel, the Kiln, is gathering powerful people to him. Dagwood, Bosch, my sister.
Nix, were you able
And-
to catch any of the conversation that Dagwood was having?
The
Sorry,
two of
Roshan.
them, there wasn't that much other than her saying that she was a little bit interested in whatever work they're wanting her to do. It very pointedly told me it was only a little.
Okay.
And you mentioned another person. There was a little goblin
Morden.
boy.
Morden.
Yeah,
Morden,
he's
yes.
there.
Oh,
With
he's
her.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
think
dear.
that settles it. We need to redirect all efforts into rescuing Morden. No?
And Dagwood.
And
if we can
Dagwood.
manage
Probably
it.
both of them.
Dagwood's fine too. We can get her while we're there.
They also have some. I couldn't read it. It's just a paper filled with a ton of runes that they're hiding from whoever they're working there for.
Huh.
I think that strikes Roshan. He says, I think that might have been meant for us. Ave's notes described something that she was supposed to give us. I asked her about it. She said she still had it.
Huh.
Were you able to glean anything from it?
I don't know anything like that. There's just a lot on there. I know where it's hidden in case we come across them.
Can we scry under Morden's clothes?
Let's not get too hasty
I
now.
don't think she's going to.
I would say that's not a location. I'm gonna have to call that under someone's clothes is not a location. So
Damn.
nor
Damn.
person, we shan't scry on it.
That.
Well,
That seems like bullshit to me.
if Dagwood is currently in conversation with whomever this is, could you tell if Morden was there in the room too, or was he left behind wherever Dagwood was being kept?
They stayed in that room for this conversation, so he was still there.
Okay. I wouldn't want to out them, but I don't know, maybe there's something that Morden might be able to do to, I don't know, show us, tell us, whatever it is that is on that paper.
They might be able to if we reach back out. I don't think I could do it again at
Of
the
course.
moment because whoever they're talking to has something that sent me back.
Is it possible that maybe they're not paying quite as much attention to Morden as they would be to Dagwood? And if we can reach out to Morden, he might be able to give us more details in fuller description of where they might be, because Dagwood can't, because they're watching her.
maybe they're in the same room.
People tend to overlook small things like goblins, and he's quite bright, but maybe we can play on their prejudices that they might not pay much attention to him when they have a powerful sorceress such as Dagwood in their possession. They might think that he's more of a pet when he might be an asset to us because he's quite clever.
It's possible.
It's true.
She said if you guys reached out to him for him to tell you guys what he could, but
Really?
I mean, I'm sure she would do the same if she could.
Right.
But
We've tried several times to reach out, and she's given us very, very little in the way of
Yeah.
information. Whether
In
it's
fairness,
because
she
she's
was being
being
watched.
watched or because she wanted to get more information out of her captors. Oh, I can't say, but personally, I think that our priorities need to shift a bit into seeing if we can help Dagwood and Morden.
If possible. Certainly. I don't know that we'd be able to reach them very quickly. Certainly we're several days out from the next town as it is.
At least locate them.
Roshan, do you feel comfortable reaching out to Morden now, or should we wait till later?
If they're in the middle of some kind of tense conversation, then I think we need to wait because it requires a bit of a conversation, and I don't want to put him in any danger replying, but how long do you think they would be talking, Nix?
hard to say. I was only there for the beginning of it.
Okay.
All
Well,
she said was she was willing to talk, so it could be a while.
perhaps a couple hours then. Did you see anyone else with them?
No, it was just those two in that room, and then everyone else was outside, either behind a door or the person that eventually came in. I didn't see anyone else.
Well, unless, and this is something we could figure out, but unless Eitri has access to teleportation magic, she wasn't that far behind us. Or in front of us. She was in Nawatan a week before us.
We were
And
delayed some time just now, about a week, but surely she couldn't be too very far ahead.
but it's probably not enough time to get to Skull City.
Some of these people have been traveling by trees. There's something to keep in mind. Keld, you seem very quiet. And that's something I respect and admire in a person, but we're trying to make decisions as a group here. What's your insight on any of this?
I don't know if I have much.
And
What are you trying to decide exactly that you need from me?
I just want your input because you're part of this group now. What do you want to do? Do you think we should push forward with doing what we were, or do you think we should redirect and try to get Dagwood and off from the predicament that she's in?
Well, I don't know her. You haven't really filled me in on that, but if she's an ally of yours and you think we should help her, then by all means, we should probably help her.
She is an ally. I do worry that enemies of ours, any number of enemies of ours, could press her into doing work that would be to all of our detriment. The world's detriment, potentially. She's a very powerful spellcaster.
And it sounds like she's in the wrong hands.
That's my worry, yes. And even if she only admits to being a little interested in their work, even if it's only to find out more about what they're doing, I don't think she should be there any longer than we can help.
If we find out where she is, do either of you have any means of getting us there faster?
Not really. Potentially get like the tree thing that you're talking about. I could do that myself, but I can't get any of you through.
Can't bring any of us with you. Okay.
No.
Wouldn't be any sense in sending you alone.
No.
I certainly wouldn't ask you to do that.
It'll be a foolish move. I'm sure you're very capable, Nix, but there are a lot more people waiting on the other side from the sounds of it than...
Dangerous people, no less.
Yeah. Yes.
But if we could make some move towards getting Dagwood and Morden free, I think that would be a boon to us and potentially someone who could help us to undo Bosch's goals and maybe the kilns as well.
All I can think is that we had an opportunity to put a stop to something bad before, and if we have an opportunity to help Dagwood and Morden, we shouldn't rest on that. We should take our advantage and do what we need to do.
I agree.
And I'm on board.
Thank you.
Let's probably head as quickly and quietly in that direction as we can.
Well, we need to establish what direction that is. So we've established that the east of the Civic Library, which is half of the known world as far as I'm concerned.
Well, we have to head north to head east anyway, if we're going to follow roads.
And
We can
did we
reach out along that time.
You'd mentioned that Bosch was headed toward Jarlsbecker.
Yes.
Is it still our intent to try and head him off there?
I
It's
think
mine.
if the kiln is aiming to gather powerful people, and if Bosch is in that number, we should prevent Bosch from being at that meeting if we can.
I agree.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if we come across another one of those pits, we should absolutely take a torch to it.
Agreed. And take every member we find there under captivity or burn them down, whichever.
Then perhaps it's time that we split from Ink and Gorbjorn and Tordrick and make haste.
Perhaps. Let's have a word with them first and see if their need is great. I don't feel right abandoning friends when we have the opportunity to lend them strength or defense if they need it. But if they feel safe on the road, I would like for us to make greater haste than we are.
Agreed.
Shall we talk about it tonight after we make camp, or do we need to inquire with Ink now?
We've still got half a day's travel, so I think we should use it to our advantage. And Roshan will hurry ahead to talk to Ink.
I hate very much to use our parting with dear friends to any strategic advantage, but if there's anything we can do to publicize the fact that we are traveling with them before we diverge from them, maybe that's advantageous. Roshan, can you play very loudly on your instrument, or it makes some spectacle that we are traveling with Ink's traveling museum, and then when we leave them, it could be.
I think Ink themselves would be better at pretending we're traveling with them.
That might be so as well. Just
They
trying
could
to think.
easily play any one of us
Trying to
coming out of the cab.
think with the thoughts of hunting decoys and whatnot.
Ah,
A worthwhile thing to suggest to Ink if they haven't already thought
I'd
of it
love
themselves.
Ink to be our hunting decoy.
Jesus.
No,
No.
just for rumors
Poor
to
guy.
for rumors of our travels with them to precede us,
oh,
so that we might break off and have several days head start before anyone realizes that we're not with them.
Of course. Roshan, you run ahead. Easy to catch up. They're not fast.
Not
And
with
you
that
approach
ox.
and you can hear Gorbjorn's voice, and he's like, you can see that he's holding a piece of paper but has it tilted more towards Ink, and is like, I am Prince Gorbjorn, son of Brickbjorn, son of Chirlborn. And then you catch up. And
That's
he's sort of holding like a family tree of sorts. And they both kind of look over at you.
As much as I'd love to keep your company, I think we need to hurry on ahead. With some clever spell work on Nick's part, we've begun to locate Dagwood and it's better if we try and go help her and head off Bosch as best we can along the way. So do you feel safe out here? Will you be okay if we go?
You're reading Ink's face. And it remains sort of blank and stoic. I'll be as safe as I've ever been. And Gorbjorn kind of leans over. And then leans over further to look past you. You guys have been here the whole time?
Oh my god!
wow.
We said hi to you at camp last night!
Nobody said hi to me anywhere.
Well,
It was off camera.
Yeah, okay. It's canon, Jillian.
um,
We all said hi, Gorbjorn, in unison.
We did not forget our friend.
Well, he forgot you.
He brought him
Oh.
pancakes and everything.
He thought you
Yeah.
guys had left. There's a whole cart between you guys. He can't see you. Object
Yeah, okay.
permanence.
Right. Those eggs only did so much for the intelligence.
well, until we meet again, Gorbjorn, son of Brickbjorn. I mean, Prince Gorbjorn, son of King Brickbjorn.
Is it King Brickbjorn? And it's you don't have to say all the titles each time. And Gorbjorn's like,
okay.
oh, 1 second, and takes the bag at their side, the bag of holding, and reaches in, and you watch as he pulls out a nice amount of coin
I mean,
to
that's
put into
fair.
his own bag.
Of course. It's his own stuff.
And pulls out his crown and his cloak to reclaim those, puts it on. And he sort of kind of tosses it over to you.
Oh, I thank you. Now, Ink, don't let him go to the Temple of Njord in insert town name here, wearing this regalia. It
It
might
will
be
not be
arrested.
received well.
No,
At this point, like the cart is stopped for conversation.
Yeah.
You're just jogging alongside, like, sweet, okay.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Do what you guys have to do.
Until we meet again, big guy.
He gives a nod, and the cart starts to catch up, and easily starts to overtake Ink's cart. Roshan, I need you to do a wisdom saving throw. -6.
A wisdom saving throw of what?
Wisdom saving throw -6.
Well, with a -6, I rolled a 2
Holy
and
shit.
get +2.
Total
Okay.
is -2.
Roshan, you climb onto the cart and you take Gorbjorn's hand and you give it a firm shake and you embrace. And he seems kind of shocked and embraces you back. And you squeeze his shoulder. Till next time, you say. Please
Till
be
next
safe.
time.
And you step from the cart. And that's where you kind of come more into focus, is stepping off of the cart and moving back to the group. As Gorbjorn sort of like looks you all over and is kind of just like casually waving you guys off, like, yeah, we'll see each other, it's whatever.
Nana kind of like claps the bracelet that he gave her back at the orc settlement. Won't be forgetting you anytime soon. Keep yourself safe.
I don't think I can die, so he kind of gives like a thumbs up.
That makes far too much sense. But be safe anyway.
And he kind of nods and he like acknowledges each of you. And he like aggressively like shucks the papers. And like he's reading it, which he is not. Son of Brickbjorn, son of Chirlbjorn, as your cart overtakes, and he kind of gives us like a final like hands up as you all easily move away.
So Sven's gonna jump off of our cart and run to his cart and like jump up onto his cart, and he's just gonna like give him a kiss on the forehead.
Oh,
That's the last time we touch one another. All right. And then he
All right.
runs back to our,
he kisses you on the mouth.
yes! Yes!
As you are kind of in the motion of leaving, but it's just like the grab of the collar, the kiss on the mouth, and then you're already off the cart.
Woo! Yes!
oh shit, I remember that now. Oh god, you did that before. God,
Then
do it
your
again.
shippers rejoice!
All right, hey, be safe. Take care of Ink. We'll see you again. And Toldrick, take care of Toldrick. We will see you again, but don't touch me when we see each other again.
Okay, I'm gonna touch you.
Gonna do it.
As all of you make your way, and it is like a slow, it's almost like you guys are walking in the same direction, so you kind of have to be like, come on, Thick
Yeah.
Biscuit, like pick up the fucking pace so
Come
we don't look
on.
stupid.
Yeah, come
Uh,
on, Thick Biscuit Buddy, don't leave us hanging.
Still in view for like a very
No.
long time.
Yeah. I mean, we're not gonna make Thick Biscuit gallop. But you know,
Bitch,
like we gotta make a
Gallop
little better
fucking away.
time.
So are you guys moving into a faster movement?
So
Is that your
sometime before we're 600 feet away, Fenn's gonna scribble down on a little piece of paper.
Fire arrow.
I miss you already. I miss you already, and he's gonna write it on a little piece of paper, and he's gonna wrap it around the arrow, and he's gonna fire it into Ink's cart.
Okay.
Like, just I miss you already.
I need you to
Aw.
make an attack.
Shoot Ink's finger off.
26. I hope I don't shoot Ink's finger off.
You were aiming for the cart, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you assume it hits the target. You hear Ink fucking scream though, as they were littered with arrows and murdered that way.
Ah!
They were murdered by somebody actually hitting them with an axe or something.
That wasn't your actual murder. That was your first murder.
It was
Not
leading
your
up to
actual real one.
pre-murder
led to your
violence.
murder.
Nice.
Yeah, Ink screams as an arrow makes contact with the cart, and you kind of hear him like, Barbarian's like, I mean, thanks, but like, gee, oh man.
All right, sorry.
You should have sent a bird. You have a bird that knows me.
That's true. Oh my
Um,
God.
But
She's
thanks.
mad at
I
us
mean,
right now.
bells back and forth.
Jesus Christ.
But you all pull away. I'm pulling you so far out of view of them now,
Yeah.
so that I can
Okay.
save poor Ink's psyche.
Yeah.
As you
Jesus.
all pull away and now move with fervor
With
as
alacrity.
you as you make your way north on your way to the next town over, a few days off from Brook Course.
Brook
And
Course.
that is where we are going to stop for today.
Oh boy.
Thank you for being here. We love telling you guys a story, especially a little bit of a sassy one. Boy, howdy. I love a little party drama, just like a little bit, like not too much, but just like a sprinkle, just a little sprinkle.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it'll be resolved and beautiful one day.
One
But
day.
thank you all for being here at the Dice Cult. We have a few things going on. On Tuesdays, we have Legends of Theia, which is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e, on the hunt for a unicorn, off slaying monsters in the underground, the cool shit.
And like the
and-
occasional god, I understand as well.
And if you'd like to catch up on everything going on, you can catch all of our all of our past episodes
Mhm.
over on youtube.com/the Dice Cult, where you can watch what has happened prior. In this story, you can watch the first arc of Cordially Invited, which is a Dungeons and Dragons 5e game about planning a royal wedding. And you could also watch a completed arc of Vampire the Masquerade and the Last Remaining Light, where Katie and I destroy the fucking world physically and Sai destroys it mentally. And those are our
Fire
goals,
and
baby.
psychic.
A lot of
So if
fire.
you'd like to see a beautiful, violent vampire love story, I don't know, depends on your point of view.
I guess.
Depends on what's going
a
on.
little bit.
You,
but-
you can just go watch that, enjoy the drama if that's your cup. If you want to see Katie actually bring the fucking drama, you could go watch that vampire shit.
Yeah.
She's well versed.
If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at the back. Guys, hey, it's been a long day.
It's okay.
Where do we get our
At
dice?
Facts of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. Everybody, once again, we're going to just hold up Katie's dice because this is what we're
Everyone.
going to do now. Katie has to pimp herself out.
You can
Where
get
do we
them
find
at-
you?
at dragoninkdice.bigcartel.com. Or
Yeah,
just
so-
look up Dragon Ink Dice, so you'll find me.
Top notch.
Super good.
If you're interested in some pretty dice, as we all are. Thank you guys again. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story, and we'll be here same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you guys then. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.
Love you, everyone.